Hello there guys, and welcome to another episode of Gaming News, brought to you by Chippy, and this is going to be a somewhat improv one because I kind of have to make it quite quickly, but nonetheless I'm going to make it because I really need to try and keep up with my one every Monday routine. So first, as always, we're going to start with the game. So I'm going to kind of combine two of them into one. I'm going to talk about DayZ because of the recent standalone, because I kind of like reviewing and talking about alpha games because they're quite easy. Well, not easy, but they're sort of easier to view your opinions on because they're alpha, unless people get annoyed. So some of you may or may not have known that DayZ Standalone recently came out. DayZ is a zombie apocalypse mass multiplayer online game. It's been around for a long time. It was around before Rust or 7 Days to Die, but the standalone has only just come out just after those two and isn't quite as good as Rust. Rust is currently in the lead, but DayZ certainly has more potential and is currently sort of more, it has the lead up, it has the, because of the mod, which we can talk about in a sec, really led up to the standalone, and everyone kind of says, well, if you can do this in the mod, that's what it's going to be like in the standalone, and the standalone, the mod is currently superior to Rust, so it's kind of confusing, but I think you understand. So basically, DayZ Standalone, my thoughts on it are, it's kind of lengthy, it's very sort of, it is real. There's no kind of, oh, I can spawn this in, or this is easy to get. You have to look through house after house after house after house, finding stuff. You have to keep travelling further and further to get better and better stuff. And gradually you'll get better and better things, and you'll learn the map, you'll know where things are. But that's kind of a lengthy process. And DayZ is not a game where you can just sort of pick it up and just play for a little bit. It's sort of, I'd say, easily half to a full day of playing. It plays a lot better with friends. So far I haven't managed to get online with anyone yet, but a couple of my friends have got it. I'm going to be playing some of it soon. It is, yeah, like I say, a hell of a lot better with friends. And you can clan up, you can be a hero or a bandit, you can do whatever, yeah. It's a really cool game so far, and it's only in alpha. It's in a very early alpha. It's currently £20 on Steam, which is quite a lot for an alpha, I'll admit, but it does have a fair bit of potential. It's not something I would necessarily... I mean, £20 for a game that's probably going to cost 35 to 40 when it comes out, it's okay, and the current game in itself is sort of good fun if you enjoy that kind of thing. But I think if you've never really played anything before, or you haven't played the mod, then I don't know, watch several videos on it first, just because it is a sort of quite a picky thing. So, next up I'm going to be talking about the DayZ mod. Now, DayZ was very originally, way back when, started as a mod for Arma 2. Arma 2 is a realism simulation strategy, first-person / third-person game. And that was, I mean, that's pretty rubbish, to be honest. Even Arma 3 is not great. Arma is 100%, I'd say, multiplayer, because playing on your own is very boring. There's no real way of spotting enemies. It's very sort of real to the point of your vision kind of thing. Like in games, it's fairly, it's normally quite easy to spot enemies, but in Arma, everyone is camouflaged as they would be in real life, so it is quite difficult, and you normally rely on the AI's sort of pre-scripting to spot enemies. So it's kind of boring when it comes to that. There's no real kind of adrenaline of finding people and killing them. It's more just knowing they're there from the AI and maybe taking a few shots at them because they're halfway across a ridge. It's real to that point, but it's quite boring at the same time. So it works a lot better with other players, especially mass things. I'll link you to a YouTuber called Devil Dog Gamer. He's great. He does huge raindrops style things, which are just sort of loads and loads of people together. He's done huge invasions on. I mean, they all attack AI, but nonetheless, he's got 150 people all playing, which is a pretty epic battle, and they're really quite professional in the way they do it. So I really recommend him. So yeah, with the DayZ mod, it's really buggy, but it is definitely something I'd recommend to get, because currently Arma 2, you get 2 games in one for cheaper than 1 game, if you see what I mean. Because Arma 2 currently costs, I think, £15 to around £20 if you buy, because you have to buy a DLC to get Arma 2. And then when you've got those, you have Arma 2 Combined Operations, which is the one, and you have DayZ mod. But DayZ mod is very broken. At times, you have to have exactly the right thing. If one file's wrong, just doesn't work. it's quite a lot of people hack it, and now that the standalones come out, even more people are going to hack the mod because they know that, you know, they just sort of can. So it's, I don't know, I'd kind of recommend the standalone, but standalone's quite expensive. It's a pretty big dilemma to go to. If you really want to do it, do a lot of research first, basically. And finally is another alpha game that is just simply amazing. Like, it's one of the best games I've ever played, which is Prison Architect. It's kind of got around a bit. Some people know about it. It does what it says on the tin, as do most games do, really. You build prisons. It's a plan view indie sort of game. It's very much kind of the games you used to play on Miniclip, but this is also £20, which is a lot of money for what it is, but at the same time it's not. These games are sort of weird like that. You basically build prisons, and you can build it to however you want. You keep building up, and the more prisoners you get, the more money you make, so the bigger you can build it. And some people, if you just go into a Steam workshop for Prison Architect, you'll see some of the stupidly huge prisons that some people have built. But at the same time, there are certain cheats you can do to get unlimited money, so some of these prisons you'll see aren't actually legit, but most of them are, because that cheat was only quite recent. So if you look at some of the older things, you'll be quite amazed at how much time some people have on their hands. It's somewhat worrying. So yeah, Prison Architect is, well, yeah, it does what it needs to. It's you build prisons, you run them, they set fire, there's riots, there's all kinds of things. So it's kind of, yeah, I mean, it's maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but at the same time, it's just brilliant to just sit down and just build a prison. There's just something so satisfying about it, and just seeing it go well and seeing everyone happy. Unless you're like me, in which case I'm currently building a version of Azkaban, which all they get is food because it's a human right. But that's all jolly good fun. So yeah, that's a game I'd seriously recommend. There's no multiplayer or anything like that, because I mean there should be. That'd be quite good fun to build a prison with your friend. But it is a really, really sort of in-depth game, and they've really thought about everything. And it's only in the alpha. You can tell that they don't just put stuff in and go, yep, that'll work there. They really do just like, you know, they think, okay, well, what would happen there? How would that work with everything else? And there's certain things that are extremely buggy, but most of it's really, they don't sort of, what would really something that wouldn't, would seriously affect game, just minorly affect it. And finally, a little bit of hardware. I'm going to go to Razer for this today, and gaming headsets, because I don't know, they're somewhat overlooked. I mean, last week I said that monitors were overlooked, but, I feel as headsets may be overlooked even more. But at the same time, some pro gamers play with rubbish headsets, so, But I'm going to look today at the Razer Blackshark. Now, this is a very cool looking, portable, clever gaming headset. It has a microphone boom, which is one that's preferred by most people, actually, that can then spin up, if you know what I mean, sort of go up to the top of your headset to go out the way, or it can just be taken off your headset entirely. You can just have a pair of headphones. They are really quite high quality. If you want to know the sort of specs, the headphones frequency response is 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz, and the microphone frequency response is 50 Hz to 16,000 Hz. So that's that sort of, for those of you who know what that means, then there we go. Yeah, it's got the sponge over the, you can see in the pictures on the screen, it's got the sponge over the microphone, so that sort of dulls out some of the noise. It's unidirectional, meaning that it only picks up your voice from, when you talk into the microphone. It doesn't pick up the sound around it, supposedly. It does look quite cool. It does come in at a grand total of £119.99, so it's not something that's cheap, but Razer, you kind of know when you're paying a lot of money, it's not, I mean, you're probably paying about 50 quid for the name there, but when you're paying that kind of money with Razer, it's gonna be sort of gamer. It's very gamer. It's very good. So yeah, that's a cool looking headset in my opinion. So anyway, that wraps up gaming news for today. I'm sorry it was fairly brief and that was just completely improv, unlike normal. So yeah, I will link. Well, to be honest, there's kind of no links to anything I've talked about, because it's all on Steam. So, just if you've got Steam, if you don't get it, trust me, Steam is a brilliant place to just get games, any kind of games, indie games, everything. You can just get everything, free, demos, whatever. Trust me, get Steam. if you don't already have it. And look all these games up. DayZ Standalone. It is DayZ, not Days or DayZ. Trust me, it's DayZ. Well, if you're British, it's DayZ. American, DayZ. Days. I don't think anyone calls it Days. So just look those up. Arma 2 as well, combined operations. Prison Architects, definitely want to look up. These will all be in the description, sort of the names of them. And then the Razer Blackshark, which I can link to. So I'll link you to that, the Razer homepage for that. Anyway, I'm blabbering now. You've probably left the video. For those of you still there, hi, how you doing? God, I hate those guys that just sort of wander off before the end of the video. Nah, you guys are the best. You guys are my favourite friends, you know. Don't go bragging or anything, but yeah. Anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. Bye-bye.